Thank you. Thanks, everyone. It's a little better. Thanks for everyone for coming out. Just flew in this morning from Portland, Oregon. Little gassed. My dad decided he thought it'd be a good idea to take me on a 12-mile bike ride this afternoon. So the legs are feeling it a little bit. So thanks, Dad. Thank you, Lou, for the great introduction. I don't really love the spotlight. If nobody knows my dad, he loved the spotlight. He tried to throw me in it all the time, so I tried to stay under the radar and stay off of that. So I'm going to be as brief as possible up here, but I think the important thing tonight is to really thank all of the people within the Malvern community who kind of helped me achieve all the stuff that you guys saw up there. It starts with kind of a great core group of friends. Some of them are here tonight. Max, Paul, Emper, Dave Moore, Carol, the Levas, Bowles, everyone. Through both teams, it was just a good, cohesive group of guys. So I was really fortunate and lucky just to kind of have them by my side. Family is obviously the next big thing. Came from a pretty big kind of clan. On my mom's side, the Ambrogi clan seems like everywhere you'd go around town in the Delaware County, you'd run into someone there. And then on my dad's side, of the Driscoll side as well. Just the support, the never-ending support, the love that they gave me was really just special. Even to take that one step further, to have my Uncle Bernie, my Aunt Liz here at Malvern during my time, didn't really have like the greatest of times at Malvern, and just knowing that they were here, just to kind of be able to go to and talk to, just have that relief and have that. It was really special, and I want them to know I really appreciate that. Sorry, I just kind of threw some notes on the red eye here last night. So after that, we can go through the teachers and staff. There were a handful of gentlemen here that I really wanted to single out. To me, they really make Malvern. It's that special place just because these guys care and invested in us so much. I came here in 8th grade and just immediately felt a connection with them. Mr. Kindon, I don't want to miss anyone. Mr. Kindon, Mr. McLaughlin, Mr. McGuire, Father Flynn, and last but not least, Millsy. I was doing PT all the time just to be able to go out and play, and I probably spent more time with Millsy than anyone else through high school. So, Millsy, I love you for everything you did for me. I really appreciate it. After the teachers and the staff, obviously coaches. Football, I had Coach Kev, who was up on the screen there, and also Coach Kev Free. Kind of got burnt out on football, to be perfectly honest, in high school. Didn't really have a lot of fun. Had fun kind of playing on the field, but kind of lost the luster there. And the two of you specifically, along with my teammates, kind of just helped me stick it out and keep playing football. So I really, really appreciated that. Coach Watson, you kind of did the same role for me in the lacrosse world. It was always kind of that lighthearted break, and you have Coach Mack, who kind of brings that demanding and intense kind of culture there. It was nice to kind of have you as the counterbalance. That can tie right into Coach Mack. Didn't have a ton of time with you, but the time that we did have, you had a huge impact on me. Just the attention to detail, how you kind of brought about a culture of just setting high expectations and what was expected of us so we could achieve our potential. That's instilled in me through to this day and everything that I do. So, you're kind of like a second father figure to me. I have a very supportive and tough-loving father as well, and kind of to have a younger, better-looking one with more hair at school was a nice added benefit. So I appreciate that. I still told one story about Coach Mack. I still remember when I told you that I was committing to Notre Dame, and you looked at me and said, "Hey, that's great, but why are you going there? You're never going to play. Stick around, stay local, go to Drexel." No slight at Drexel, but I used lacrosse to get into Notre Dame and get a degree from Notre Dame. And I knew Coach Mack was coming from a good place, but that extra motivation just to kind of go out, exceed expectations, kind of prove people wrong, just kind of fueled my fire and led kind of that extra internal drive. They were just coming off a Final Four. the only reason they recruited me is because 2 other kids committed elsewhere. In the lacrosse world, they didn't contact me till my senior year, which is kind of unheard of these days. I knew it was an uphill battle, but I put in the work, film, weight room, PT, classroom, because I knew I had that big task ahead of me. And as you can see, I was all conference all 4 years and all American twice. Kind of that extra fuel for fire and motivation kind of leads me to bring up a guidance counselor here at school, Paul Simpson, who I remember he flat out said I couldn't get into any of the schools that were recruiting me. Yeah, that one stung. Yeah, that stung a lot, but I internalized it. I used it as extra motivation. And one of the things that wasn't up there is one of the years when I was an All-American, I was actually an academic All-American. So that's something I was really proud of. So Paul, thanks for that extra motivation as well. The last coach I kind of want to bring up is the guy who's pretty much responsible for me being up here. John Rody, you put a lacrosse stick in my hand, 3rd grade, I had huge ears and I was gangly. My voice was cracking as much as it is tonight, so that's great. But it was kind of that introduction. I had a full decade with you, which is kind of unheard of, from 3rd grade all the way through high school. I'm really glad you put a pole in my hand in 5th grade because I was really, really bad at offense. So that was great. But, you struck a balance between, going through the process, putting in the work, but also enjoying every minute of it. I think that's why I mentioned earlier, I kind of got burnt out with football. I never lost that love or that passion for lacrosse, and I think that was the biggest reason why. It was because of your approach and how you took that with us. The last 2 people I want to bring up are obviously my parents. From their tough love to their unending support, they taught me to, make myself comfortable in uncomfortable situations, which I think's providing benefits all the way through life. But also, treat everyone with respect. Live by the golden rule. They kind of led by example, and really to harness and kind of focus on the why behind why do you do things. And I still use that as kind of my motivation and my drive when times get tough and kind of you're going through things. I remember why I'm doing it. As I kind of start a young family out on the West Coast, that's becoming more and more important. So I just want to say thank you for that. Mom and Dad, I love you. You're my best friends, and hope everyone has a great rest of the night. Thank you very much.